If you do not have clear goals for your life, you are condemned forever to work for those who do.
I don't care what sport you do. I don't care what you do in life. If you don't have that mindset that you're on a mission, nobody is going to stop you, you're not going to get to that level that you claim that you want to get to. All the greats got that mindset. Like, man, I'm running through you.
Nobody likes to talk about this, but talent, it's overrated. I've seen talented people quit, and I've seen average people win. The difference was discipline. Talent shows up when it feels good. Discipline shows up, though, when it doesn't. Discipline is waking up tired, but doing the work anyway. It's sticking to the plan when nobody's watching. It's choosing progress over your comfort. Studies show that consistency matters more than your very intelligence for long-term success.
Your younger self is afraid of what the future holds, and you should ask yourself if you're the hero or if you're just making those fears come true, because the youngest version of you had the highest expectations and the most sensitivity to bad energy, and I think you knew best because of it. Most people shut off the mind they had when they were younger just to cope with a somewhat shitty world, but what do you think makes the world somewhat shitty? I wonder what would happen if you took your sights off comfort and put them on making your youngest self proud.
You don't jump the fence, you don't take risk. If you see failure with an abundance perspective, you say, okay, that didn't work, but hey, I tried and I learned something from it, and there's a lot of other things that will work, and there's always an answer, there's always more than one answer, and there's a better answer, so I'll find it out.
In the battle, you find peace. When you go to war with yourself, you find a lot of peace. It's because you know exactly who you are. And that is where the peace is really found for me. We all have dreams. I had it when I was younger. So I figured the best place to make those dreams come true are in isolation. So I walked into isolation as Dave the Goggins. Then I walked out of isolation as Goggins. You become a savage is in isolation. That's when your mind changes. That's when your focus changes. Your dedication changes. Gain focus. Isolation is the key to strengthening your mind.
You know, one way of looking at unhappiness is people who are, in one way or another, in a tunnel. They say, the only way to live is this way. They're not happy with it, but it seems the only way. I've got to love this person, though it's not making me happy. I've got to do this job, though it's a prison. I've got to live in this place, though I don't like it. You know, we can unpick some of those things and say, really? Is that absolutely necessary? Well, human beings are brilliant at building themselves cages and throwing away the key.
We are built to constantly compare ourselves to other people. We're always thinking of what the other person has and how we are in relation to them. Are we getting as much attention as that other person? This started off when we were children. Are we getting more attention than our siblings from our parents? So we're continually comparing ourselves in rank and power and status to the people around us.
For the most part, our thinking is born of obsession and usually wrapped up in a whole lot of junk from the outside, past things that we project into the future, stuff we saw on TV, stuff that we heard on the internet, stuff that somebody said to us. Most of our thinking is not serving us because it doesn't come from stillness. It's a form of activity, not action.
I want them to come up against the point where they're going to give up and quit. And they're going to sit there and nobody else is giving up and quitting. And they're going to go all in more, and they're going to start believing that there's something on the other side of that emotion. They're going to believe that there's something past the story of their past because they're stretching themselves out of the known. And it takes a tremendous amount of awareness, repetition, information, model building, sharing, understanding, experiencing to finally have a person get to the point where they just let go.
You better be real careful with the words that you tell yourself, because that right there, how you view yourself, how you talk to yourself, how you look in the mirror, and how you pursue yourself,
That's the same way you're going to see the world, the same way you're going to talk to the world, and the same thing you're going to get out of the world. So you better be real careful on the story you tell yourself on how you feel about yourself. Otherwise, what are you going to expect?
The origin of wisdom, according to the Greeks, was know thyself, right? And I believe that very firmly, that knowledge about who you are is an end in itself and will help you in so many ways become that human being that I think we all have the potential to become.
The first and most important thing is that you have to understand that if 95% of who you are is a set of unconscious programs, then the first step is lighting a match in a dark place. If you want to become someone else, you got to become aware of who you are.
How you can change your circumstances by changing your attitude. Your attitude towards life will determine what you get. If you're avoidant and hostile towards people, a hostile person will tend to create hostility around it.
Revelation is very clear. Revelation is very eminent. Revelation is what's being revealed to you, what's right in front of your eyes. If only you stop thinking.
But I told myself, the guy that hires me is going to be proud he picked me. So what do you got to do? You got to show up every day. And what happened is I was on this path. Here's that path right there. It just glows. And all of a sudden, people start jumping off the path over time. Kids, drugs, failure, it doesn't matter, excuses, I don't care what it is. But if you stay on that path and people are jumping off, you show up and guess what happens? You become the oldest guy on the team.
I think that you don't suffer less, you suffer differently. And the most important thing is if you're not alone. Probably the most difficult thing in all our experiences, and certainly in the experience of pain or loss or suffering or ache, is not to be alone.
Each time I feel anger at my sibling or my mother or friend for saying something that I misinterpreted, I go, that's your ego speaking. These people weren't saying something that was personal. You just have your ego, which is always getting in your way. Question it.
You see, the moment your life will change is the moment that you turn your reasons of why you can't into your reasons of why you can.
You learn to love yourself in the context of your relationships with others. It's interactive. You need a good amount of self-awareness, but you also need to be in relationships because it's people who help you become more aware.
It's simple. Knowledge, experience, wisdom. Philosophy, initiate that philosophy, master it. Mind, body, soul, thinking, doing, being, learning it with your head, applying it with your hands, knowing it by heart. And this is the journey of knowledge, because when you learn that information and you really study it, you are going to begin to see the world differently because your brain is changing.
Imperfection stalks us. I don't think we will ever overcome it. And indeed, the quest to be immortal, to be free of blemishes, to be always correct, to say and feel always the appropriate thing, is in itself a form of madness and wrongness. And I think that we best accommodate ourselves to the conditions of life by accepting in an a priori way that we are flawed, those around us will be flawed, we will make errors, those around us will make errors. We are largely in the dark, therefore we need to go easy on ourselves and be generous towards others.
If I could stay connected to the emotions of my future all day long, there's no way I would be looking for when it would be happening. How could I look for when it would be happening if I feel like it's happened? I wouldn't look anymore, which means I wouldn't be separate from it. And that's when you start creating magic.
So that somebody else tells you, I too have gone through this. That's why we read books that inspire us from other people who had also lost and found their way back and saw the light again, and they created new hope and reconnected with someone and allowed themselves to love again and have another child and start another business, whatever it is. You know, you go through it, but you have a sense that there is that thing called going through it and that you can come out of it on the other side, that there is hope.
You want to love life. You want to love fate. And what fate means, things happen to you you can't control. You didn't control who your parents are. You didn't control what city you were born into, what school you went into. You didn't control whether you were born rich or poor, right? There's much you can't control, that's fate. Accept it for what it is. Stop whining and stop going, I want something else. Embrace your world, your life. Our fear of death is probably the greatest influence on our behavior.
Revelation is literally like, it's not something very mystical. It's look at what's right in front of you. Most of the times, if there's a crisis, if we just stop, sit, and open our eyes, the path is revealed right in front of us.
Become obsessed with improving yourself. There's something about self-improvement that has a bad reputation. People throw around the term and it sounds nice in theory, like something you'd aspire to in the abstract. But when it comes to the daily grind, to the work it takes to improve yourself, not just once, but consistently, it's easy to get distracted, to push it aside, to think there's always tomorrow. But here's the truth. If you want to be the best version of yourself, you need to become obsessed with it. Obsessed with growth, obsessed with learning, obsessed with the constant drive to push yourself further, harder, and beyond what you thought was possible. It's not enough to casually want to improve. It's not enough to tell yourself, I'll work on myself when I have time. Because you never will. Time doesn't wait. The competition doesn't wait. The world doesn't wait. If you're not obsessed with improving yourself, you're going to get left behind. Obsession isn't a negative word. Let's redefine obsession for a moment. We often think of obsession as unhealthy or out of balance. We associate it with fixation, with an inability to stop thinking about something or someone to the point where it becomes all-consuming and disruptive. But that's not the obsession I'm talking about. The obsession I'm talking about is a focused, relentless, and powerful commitment to growth. It's an addiction to getting better every single day. And this type of obsession? It's a positive force. It drives you, motivates you, and transforms you into the person you're meant to be. The price of mediocrity. When you're not obsessed with becoming better, you settle for mediocrity. You accept the status quo. You let the days pass, feeling like you're doing enough, but never truly pushing your boundaries. But there's a cost to this. You might be comfortable, you might be content, but contentment is a dangerous thing when it comes to growth. It's a silent killer of progress. Because while you're comfortably going through the motions, someone else out there is grinding. Someone else is obsessed with learning, with refining, with becoming the absolute best at what they do. And here's the kicker, that someone will be the one who takes your place. They'll be the one who steps into opportunities, who builds the empire, who becomes the version of themselves you only dreamed of being. This isn't a scare tactic. This is a reality check. If you're not obsessed with improving yourself, you're letting time slip away. You're letting opportunities pass by without taking advantage of them. And in the end, it's not about what you were capable of, it's about what you actually did. The key is this: you can't just want it. You can't just be mildly interested. You have to be relentless. Every hour you dedicate, every minute you spend improving, every time you push yourself past your limits is a step closer to mastery. It's easy to look at someone who's achieved greatness and think, they must have had it easier. But the truth is, those who are exceptional didn't get there by accident. They got there by becoming obsessed with their own improvement. Fueling the obsession. So, how do you get obsessed with improving yourself? How do you make it a part of who you are, not just something you try for a while and then quit? It starts by making growth a lifestyle, not a phase. You need to make it your default. Your obsession becomes your compass. It's what wakes you up early, keeps you up late, and pushes you through challenges. It's what keeps you committed to the process when others are giving up, when things get hard, and when it seems like the reward is too far off. The power of small wins. It's easy to think that obsession means going all in from day one, but the reality is, obsession isn't just about big dramatic actions. It's about consistency and small wins that build up over time. Each small victory compounds. Each new lesson learned adds another layer to your foundation. The obsession is in the little things, the daily habits, the attention to detail, the unwavering commitment to getting 1% better every single day. This is how champions are made, through the repetition of small actions, repeated with precision and passion. It's the obsession that drives the action, and it's the action that creates momentum. Turning obsession into legacy. When you're obsessed with improving yourself, it doesn't just change your life, it changes the lives of everyone around you. Obsession creates ripple effects. As you grow, as you get better, as you rise higher, you inspire those around you to do the same. You become an example of what's possible, of what relentless effort can accomplish, and eventually, your obsession will turn into legacy. You'll leave behind a trail of impact, of people whose lives you've touched, of goals you've crushed, and of achievements that others will look up to for years to come. Becoming obsessed with improving yourself is not about reaching some distant finish line. It's about the pursuit. It's about the constant striving to be better than you were yesterday. It's about never being satisfied, never settling, and always looking for ways to grow. Because the journey, the obsession, is the reward. The version of yourself you're becoming is the greatest gift you can give to the world. So, become obsessed. Go after it with everything you've got. Don't wait for tomorrow. Don't wait for someone else to tell you it's time. The time is now. And if you stay obsessed with your growth, the world will never be the same.
In order to be successful in life, you have to cross a jungle. Or you could stay on the other side of the jungle and not cross the jungle. But if you choose to cross the jungle has all sorts of things that can do you harm and bite you and everything along those lines. And so the best way to do that is to go into that with people who can see things differently and watch themselves and struggle to make it to the other side. And then what I've discovered along the way is that it's always a struggle, and I enjoy being in the jungle.
My unflagging belief in one simple thing: I can learn anything.
I think people have to realize that they have to accept failure, but don't accept defeat. I think whenever you're trying to do something great, whenever you're trying to be successful, you're going to face failures, but it's those lessons in the failures that really take you to greatness.
My entire reality was based on what I believed was real, and what I believed was true about myself, about what's possible, and that I could change that. That's when my life started to change. And he said, if you start to change the way you think, and you start to learn every day for 1 hour to upgrade your knowledge and your skills, and then you take action every day on the things that are the most important instead of all the different things that you can do. 1 year, you'll be in a totally different destination. 5, 10 years, your life won't be the same.
So what would be best for you 3 to 5 years down the road if you were really taking care of yourself like you were someone that you thought should be around? And people are very ambivalent about whether they should be around, so this is a lot harder than you think. So you need that vision. And then what you also need is a vision of what your life would be like if you let yourself deteriorate in precisely the foolish ways that you know that you would deteriorate if you let yourself go. And that's contemplation too. It's like, okay, if I let myself go, where would I end up?
haven't developed grit yet. And so grit is the ability to persevere, to see things through, to go past the point at which it is stopped being fun and it becomes boring because you believe in your end goal enough, you're excited by what you're trying to accomplish so much that you're willing to fight through all of that difficulty. You're willing to fight through the boredom. You're willing to fight through the unease that arises when you step outside your comfort zone. You're doing things you're not good at and things that are boring. Those are the two things that I find kill most people. They just cannot handle the things that make them go, oh God, like I'm not very good at this and I'm feeling really badly about myself. And they forget that they can get good on a long enough timeline. And then two, inevitably, in any pursuit of greatness, in any endeavor where you're trying to gain mastery, you're gonna get bored because practice is repetition. It's doing something over and over and over and over to really train yourself to get to the point where you're truly exceptional. And there's just so much boredom inherent in that process.
Primarily, we learn the most about ourselves and others when we're uncomfortable. Because the moment you move into that uncomfortable state, normally a program jumps in. And that program jumps in is because the person doesn't want to be in the present moment and engage it consciously. That is what starts the process of change. And so we have to unlearn before we relearn. We have to break the habit of the old self before we reinvent a new self. We have to unmemorize emotions that are stored in the body and recondition the body to a new mind and to a new emotion.
Progress to just keep getting better. Little incremental gains every day, every week, every month, every quarter. And even when you move backwards a couple of steps, what's the progress that you made in what you learned? So I was taught that failure is an opportunity to learn. And I was also taught to disassociate me being a failure from failing.
If you get yourself in a state of certainty that this is going to work, I'm going to find the way, and if this doesn't work, I will make the way, then you tap a lot more potential. And when you're certain in your potential, you take massive action. When you take massive action, you really believe in something, you get great results.
Because the long-term impact of making a decision from your heart and soul, that is where the best life comes from.
The little voice in the back of your head that says it matters, it sees those outcomes down into the future and it's telling you that it matters. And if you would like the positive outcome over the negative outcome, which is, like I said, your constant choice, you bloody well better sit down and do what you're supposed to. If you're interested, you'll do what's convenient. You'll come up with stories and excuses and reasons why you can't, and you'll use your education as an excuse, you'll use your stories as an excuse, you'll use all of that as your reasons why you can't. It says, but if you're committed, you will do whatever it takes. You'll let go of your stories, you'll let go of your excuses, you'll let go of all the reasons you currently have that are formulating your identity of yourself, and you'll learn how to let that go and become who you are destined to become.
Why do most people fail? The answer is they never start. Now, the reason that most people never start is because they don't think that they're going to get a result from their actions. And then that's going to come down to a belief that they believe about themselves. I'm too stupid. I'm not good enough. I don't have the natural talent. That's why most people fail. The hard thing is taking the first step. Everything else is just persistence.
Because so many times people have a tendency to devalue the moment, today. What they do is they greatly value the destination. And so they kind of talk about, well, when I get there, or if I arrive there, or when I do that, or when I accomplish this. And they don't understand that success is a daily thing. And I'm here to share with you that the secret of success is determined by your daily agenda.
It's not so much courage, it's a matter of, it's less risky to say something than to remain silent when you know there's something to be said. I know that to be the case. And so lots of times in life, it's like, there's no pathway forward that's going to shield you from risk. You get to pick this risk, or you get to pick this risk.
You don't have to have this victim mentality. You don't have to go around telling everybody your sad story of what happened to you and why you're this way. You can go and rewrite the story. You can grab the pen back from the hands of the abusers, of the bullies, of those that created limiting beliefs, and you could rewrite the story yourself. In all the blank pages that exist in your book of life. But that only happens when you start doing the self-work, when you commit to self-mastery. And I'm telling you, it's not just by reading a couple of self-help books. Figuring out who you are at your core, at your essence, what makes you tick. And only then will you be able to set higher standards of expectations for yourself. Only then will you begin to reach the milestone of impact, income, influence, inspiration. God, it's such a cool thing to be able to break through the seals of all your limiting beliefs in life.
There's going to be things that go on that are out of your control. The worst thing you can do is let something that's out of your control control you. Get control of yourself, get control of your emotions. Don't get angry, don't get frustrated. Instead, stay calm and figure out how to move forward.
There's a terminology in psychiatry called relational illness. You've heard people say, you make me sick. Some people can make you sick. That if you fool around with them long enough will send you to an early grave. That will drive your blood pressure up. That will turn your hair gray. Who is it you need to get out of your life? You need to ask yourself the question, what is this relationship doing to me? Might be your spouse. Might be friends. Might be your job making you sick, stressing you out. And you being a volunteer victim, are you willing to die for it?
Listen, if there's only one pedestal, you must be on it. The idealized version of you must be on it, not me, not any other guru or influencer or thought leader. You get on the pedestal. You become the idealized version. You become the hero in your life's story. If your life is a movie and the movie ends, do you want your name at the end in the credits to be the hero and the star, or do you want it to be taxi driver number 2?
We start to trap ourselves within our own mind. And our mind is this big barrier, this big wall. And once we get to pain and suffering, that wall gets bigger and bigger and bigger. And the mind says, it's time to quit. If we're able to find out different ways to get around that, the first thing you have to do is just to calm your mind down. The very first thing you have to do is don't give yourself a way out. You gotta trick yourself also and say, you know what, I might quit. I'm not gonna quit right now. If your mind knows, I'm not gonna quit, I'm not gonna quit. You're not gonna quit, let your mind think it has a little control over you. Then, when you're able to calm down, you're able to think. And then realize, I call it the cookie jar, is you have to have something that fuels you in this time. So once you calm down, what's gonna get you out of the chair? You gotta remember that I've been in times just as hard as this. So I reflected back on my life.
Most of us were raised to become ordinary. And I'm not putting down ordinary, but ordinary is just not good enough for me. Ordinary is you go through your life and you fill out the forms and you pay your taxes and you do what your parents tell you and you're honorable and you're honest and you're a good citizen and then you die. Extraordinary is something very, very different. This is about recognizing within yourself that there's something very, very extraordinary that you haven't been trained to believe in, to come to a place where you can apply it and put it into your life. You can go way beyond ordinary. You can go way beyond just being average. All of us are extraordinary. We just have to come to believe it.
There's things that you know you're supposed to do as a human being. Things that you know are gonna improve your life. Do those things. There's things that you know are gonna make you a worse person and make your life worse. Don't do those things. Don't do the things that are making you weaker. Start doing the things that are gonna make you stronger and smarter and faster and healthier and gonna make you a better human being.
things that you have in you that you don't even know. But until you get outside of your comfort zone, you will never discover it. You have something special. You have greatness within you. But in order to manifest your greatness, you've got to put yourself in a perpetual state of discomfort. Yes, you've got to challenge yourself. You've got to raise the bar on yourself. You've got to get busy. You've got to work your plan. It's time for me to do me, to pursue my dream, to work my plan, to implement the things that I want for myself and for my family and for my kids. And what is your legacy? What do you want to do for yourself?
Most people quit and never finish what they started is because they continually stack L's instead of W's. You probably do things to set yourself up to fail in life. You set your alarm clock to wake up at a certain time, and then you hit that snooze button. What did you do? You stacked the L. If you think that you're meant for big goals and big dreams, change lots of lives and impact and inspire people, well, you probably need a lot of confidence. If you're always stacking losses, hitting the snooze button, saying you're gonna go work out and you don't, saying you're gonna eat clean and you don't, saying you're gonna read a few pages out of a book and you don't, all those things seem small and trivial until they add up over days, weeks, months, and years. And you have hardened your subconscious into knowing that you are an imposter, that you are not a promise keeper, and therefore your reputation with yourself erodes. Your reputation with yourself, as it turns out, is your confidence.
You will hold sturdy against anything that's thrown at you, based on that firm inner conviction that you will not falter, you will not flounder, you will not fail.
If you want to be great, the burning sensation is you having to accept that you've something up, not as far along in the journey as you want to be, and what you have to learn how to do. If you want to be great, you have to learn to let it burn. And even though your impulse is going to be to turn away from that, to not look at it, to soothe it by saying it's them, it's their fault, they fucked it up, I grew up in the wrong place, like whatever excuse you use to try to let yourself off the hook for not being where you want to be, instead of saying, actually, the power is the ability to let it burn.
Not only is it possible, that's probably the best time to do it. When circumstances and situations are pressing in upon us, the only way we can overcome them is to go within, to actually begin to ask very empowering questions, with the awareness that this universal presence and its law will answer any question that you ask. So if you're in a situation that is pressing on you, and you ask, what's trying to emerge in my life? What is my gift to share? What is my purpose? Why am I here on the planet? Not just, how can I pay my rent? Not just, how can I stop the pain? You ask empowering questions. The universe will answer these questions in a language and in a way that you can understand.
What is it? What is the one power that you have right now in this moment that can change everything? You have it, I have it, we all have it. It's one singular individual power that can change anything in our life, regardless of what's happened to us.
I want to find more. All I can. And in that sack of shit, you have to dive in that to find more. Because if you're not willing to go in there and face yourself, I can find anything. You're gonna live right here on surface, man, right here on surface. So if there is an ending to this world and there is somewhere to go and there's a judgment, you're gonna get there and you might see a chart. And that chart might tell you who you should have been. And now you get to rest your life to think about that. Now I could live a much better life. I just would have just suffered a little bit more.
Whatever your answer is, you can do it right now, today, starting today, right? It's still possible. You can start doing that right now. It's empowering the present with the future. There is nothing stopping you from making it happen right now. You don't have to feel that way when you're 70. You don't have to feel that way when you're 80. You never, ever have to feel that way if you start doing it right now. And you can do it right now. Even if it feels impossible, you can start working on it right now. You can start trying right now. You can start making plans right now because you're not there yet.
We create our own reality. So that will be true for me. I'm saying you're gonna come out the other side of this and you will be unstoppable. Your back's against the wall, you got work to do, like, let's go.
You wanna make a change, you have to change your vision of who you are. You have to begin telling yourself a different narrative. And the narrative you tell yourself about yourself is everything.
It's far more fun to die on your sword than to die on someone else's.
Always have this belief. If you want to be successful at anything in life, never leave the sight of setting a goal without doing something that commits you to fulfillment.
Be able to go inside of your own soul and remember why you came to earth. You did not come to walk lockstep in the status quo. You did not come to just adapt to how you've been imprinted. You have come to transform your life, wake up again and remember your soul call, and then be of service with effluence, generosity, forgiving as your inquiry every single day, and you will discover by law, the universe by law will bring you your assignments every single day.
Adopt the mode of authentic being. And that is something like refusing to participate in the lie, in deception and the lie, to orient your speech as much as you can towards the truth, and to take responsibility for your own life and perhaps also for the lives of other people. And there's something about that that's meaningful and responsible and noble, but also serves to mitigate the very suffering that produces, say, the nihilism or the escape into the arms of totalitarians to begin with.
The hunger that doesn't go away. That hunger to be more, to do more, to give more, that hunger that never ends.
Look, when you start deciding that it's time to change, you may have to use 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 5,000 times a day because you're pushing through self-doubt and you're pushing through procrastination and you're pushing through resignation and you're pushing through fear over and over and over and over and over and over and over again. If you use 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and you push through everything that's stopping you right now because this is your year, this is the moment that you're gonna change. At some point, something's gonna click and the momentum's gonna kick in. And suddenly, change isn't gonna be scary, change is gonna be what's happening.
Stop judging yourself through the lens of a moment and start judging yourself through the lens of 10 years. If you think of yourself in 10-year increments, like, you will blow your mind. So if you're embarrassed today about where you are, don't compare yourself even to yesterday, which may not soothe that and encourage you to push forward. Think back 10 years. But if you think back to where you were 10 years, chances are, like, you're gonna be blown away with how far you come. And so then it's like, all right, then I'm just gonna focus my gaze 10 years in the future and start saying, what would I have to do to be somewhere where I'd be blown away than where I'm at now? The pride that I'm going to establish is actually around my willingness to look at the fact that I'm not good right now today.